So you flagged this recent article from Built-in for us.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a great topic, artificial intelligence, how fast it's all moving.
It really is. It's
Yeah.
hard to keep up sometimes.
Totally. And you mentioned wanting to cut through the noise a bit, get a clear picture of where AI is actually heading, what the impacts might be, but, without needing a PhD in computer science.
Exactly. Just the key takeaways, the big picture.
Right. So that's our mission today. We'll unpack the main insights from this built-in piece, give you a solid grasp of AI's trajectory and its potential future.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And the article does provide a nice sweep, from the early days right up to the latest stuff and what it might mean for industries, for society. We'll focus on the most significant bits.
Okay, perfect. So context is always good. The article starts way back, which I like. It mentions the first AI success was apparently a checkers program back in 1951.
Yeah, Christopher Strachey's program. It seems almost ancient now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it shows the idea isn't new.
Not at all.
Then the article jumps to milestones people probably remember more clearly. IBM's Deep Blue beating Garry Kasparov at chess in '97.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Huge news.
Right. And then IBM Watson winning on Jeopardy in 2011. These weren't just tricks. They showed real leaps in machine learning systems, learning from data and deep learning, using those more complex neural networks.
Those definitely felt like moments where AI stepped out of the lab. But the article really emphasizes this recent wave, the generative AI revolution. That feels different somehow.
It absolutely is different. Starting with OpenAI's GPT models around 2018, like you said. Suddenly, AI wasn't just analyzing things, it was creating things, text, code, images.
And the speeds since then, wow. The article mentions the latest models, GPT-4o, ChatGPT. They can handle text, audio, images now. It's becoming incredibly versatile.
Incredibly. And it's crucial to remember, as the article points out, it's not just OpenAI anymore. You've got serious competition. Google's Gemini, Anthropic's Claude.
And DeepSeek, right. The article mentioned their models R1 and V3 might be significantly cheaper to run.
That's the reporting, yeah. Impressive performance, potentially at lower cost. That could really democratize access to powerful AI, which is, interesting.
Definitely something to watch. The article also nods to other big AI uses like RNA sequencing for vaccines or modeling speech better. It feels like a push towards AI that can sort of perceive and reason more like humans.
Precisely. More flexibility, more generalization. So, okay, that's the rapid evolution. The next logical step the article takes is, what does this mean for the future? And improved business automation is right at the top.
Yeah, that feels very current. We see it already, don't we? Chatbots for customer service, that kind of thing. The article has a stat like over half of organizations are using AI in some way.
55%, yeah. But it's more than just chatbots. Think about data analysis. AI can sift through massive data sets and visualize trends much faster, helping leaders make, hopefully better decisions quicker.
Right, finding patterns we wouldn't spot.
Exactly. And Mike Mendelson from NVIDIA makes a great point in the article. He says, identifying where AI can help often comes from truly understanding both the tech and the specific business problem. It's about the intersection.
Finding the right tool for the job, basically, not just tech for tech's sake.
Exactly.
Okay, but the flip side of automation, jobs, the article brings up job disruption, and it mentions employees themselves think, nearly a third of their tasks could be done by AI. That's significant.
It is. And the impact won't be even, that's a key point in the article.
Yeah.
Routine, manual tasks, maybe like some secretarial work, see more at risk. But then you see increased demand for AI specialists, machine learning folks, data scientists, cybersecurity analysts.
So some jobs might go, but new ones are created.
Or existing jobs change. AI might augment skilled roles, creative positions, which leads to the point Clara Narstedt from the University of Illinois makes in the piece. We have to invest in education, in retraining. People need to adapt. Upskilling is crucial.
Makes sense. It's a transformation, not just a replacement. Now, another huge topic the article covers, data privacy. Generative AI needs so much data, right? How it gets that data is becoming a big question.
A massive question. You've got the FTC looking into OpenAI, potential clashes with European data laws. It's under real scrutiny.
So governments are stepping in.
Well, they're starting to. The Biden-Harris administration's AI Bill of Rights, for example, puts a strong emphasis on data privacy. It signals a growing awareness and, frankly, public pressure for companies to be more careful and transparent.
Which flows right into the next point. More regulation seems inevitable. The article mentions all those lawsuits against AI companies.
Yeah, particularly copyright lawsuits from writers, musicians, even the New York Times against OpenAI. These could fundamentally change how we think about intellectual property online.
So the legal system is playing catch-up.
It is. And these lawsuits, plus the broader ethical questions AI raises, are pushing governments towards stronger action. That executive order in the U.S. tried to set guidelines around privacy, civil liberties, responsible AI development. Expect more of that.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Encouraging innovation while managing the risks.
Always.
Okay, slightly different angle the article touches on. Climate change. It's complicated.
It is two sides to it. On one hand, AI could help optimizing supply chains,
Yeah.
predicting when machines need maintenance to reduce waste, that kind of thing, potentially lowering emissions.
Okay, that's the optimistic view.
Right. But the pessimistic view, also valid, is that training and running these huge AI models uses a ton of energy and resources. If we're not careful, AI itself could significantly increase our carbon footprint.
Huh. So the tool meant to help could actually make things worse if we don't manage its own impact.
Potentially, yes. Something to keep a close eye on.
Now, this next bit in the article sounds almost sci-fi. The idea of an accelerated speed of innovation, Anthropic CEO talking about a compressed 21st century. What does that even mean?
Yeah, it's a mind bender. Dario Amodei's idea is basically that powerful AI could speed up scientific discovery dramatically, maybe tenfold in fields like biology.
10 times faster. How?
The thinking is, AI can supercharge our ability to develop hypotheses, test them virtually, analyze results, essentially augmenting human intellect. It could drastically shorten the time lag between discovering something like, say, CRISPR gene editing and actually applying it widely.
Wow, a tenfold speed up in science. The implications are just staggering.
Staggering is the word, which leads nicely into the next section. Which industries will AI impact the most?
Okay, let's run through them. Manufacturing is already deep in, right? Robots, predictive analysis.
Yep, long history there, and it'll continue. Healthcare is another huge one. AI, helping identify diseases earlier, discovering new drugs, even virtual nursing assistants are becoming a thing.
And finance. Seems
Yeah.
like a natural fit.
Absolutely. Fraud detection, auditing, evaluating loans, even helping traders assess risk. It's all over finance.
Education, too, apparently.
Mhm.
Digitizing textbooks, checking for plagiarism.
Gauging student emotions, maybe personalizing learning plans. Lots of potential there. Media is interesting too, automated reporting, like the Associated Press has used for years.
And now these generative AI writing tools are popping up everywhere.
Exactly. Customer service chatbots and virtual assistants are basically standard now, providing data-driven insights. And transportation. Well, self-driving cars are the obvious one, but also AI travel planners. Big changes coming.
It really feels like there isn't an industry that won't be affected somehow.
Pretty much. It's becoming a foundational technology.
Okay, but with all this power comes the risks. The article dedicates a good chunk to the dangers, and job losses are right back there. That stat, about 44% of worker skills potentially being disrupted by 2028, that's sobering.
It really is. And the article notes it could hit women harder, potentially, because of existing skills gaps in AI fields. We need to be proactive about that inequality.
And the bias issue. AI reflecting the biases in the data it's trained on.
A huge problem. The example given is facial recognition, often working worse for people with darker skin tones. AI can unfortunately learn and even amplify our existing societal biases if we're not extremely careful with the data and design.
Scary stuff. Then there's deepfakes and misinformation. That feels incredibly relevant right now.
Oh, absolutely, making it harder and harder to tell what's real online. The potential for misuse political propaganda, fraud, impersonation is enormous and genuinely dangerous for individuals and, well, for democracy.
And the data privacy risks aren't just about collecting data, are they? The article mentioned companies feeding their own secret info into AI tools.
Yeah, a Cisco survey found nearly half of businesses admitted putting non-public data into these systems, and almost 70% were worried about their intellectual property rights. It's a massive potential security hole.
Yikes. Okay, what about autonomous weapons? That sounds terrifying.
It's a deeply serious ethical concern. Can an AI truly discriminate between a soldier and a civilian in the heat of battle? The risk of misuse or malfunction is incredibly high.
And finally, the article touches on superior intelligence, the whole singularity idea.
It does. While maybe not an immediate threat, the article notes that AI decision-making is becoming so complex, even the creators don't always understand why it reaches a certain conclusion. That makes fixing errors harder.
So a lack of transparency.
Essentially. Mark Youngiosi from OneTrack, AI is quoted saying current AI isn't likely deciding to harm us, but the technology is evolving so fast we do need to think about these long-term possibilities.
Okay, so the article wraps up by summarizing some key questions, right? Like the future of AI.
Yeah, basically summing up, expect big improvements in healthcare, manufacturing, customer service, but challenges remain regulation, privacy, job shifts. We have to navigate those.
And AI in 10 years, more integrated into daily life, maybe helping with elder care, working alongside us.
That's the projection. More collaboration, more assistance in homes and workplaces.
But the big one, is AI a threat? And the answer seems to be, it depends.
Pretty much. It depends entirely on how we develop it, how we use it, and crucially, how we regulate it. The potential for misuse, especially around data, misinformation, and reinforcing inequality, is very real if we're not responsible.
So stepping back from the article, this whole deep dive, it really hammers home that AI isn't just coming, it's here. And it's moving at an incredible pace.
Absolutely. The potential for transformation across almost everything we do is immense. Automation, innovation.
But, and it's big but, there are serious challenges. Job disruption, data privacy, bias, ethical dilemmas, even these bigger existential risks.
Huge challenges.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of proactive thought and, frankly, responsible action from developers, companies, governments, all of us, really.
And the speed, as the article keeps highlighting, means we don't have forever to figure it out. We need to be paying attention, adapting, constantly discussing the